Hey, welcome. Today we're jumping into a really fascinating theological text that, believe it or not, kicks off with a simple dinner party, but it quickly spirals into this profound question about how we fundamentally treat one another. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with that dinner party story. Then we'll really nail down what hospitality even means. From there, we'll look at its theological roots, get real about the risks involved, and finally, wrap up with why this whole thing is so important.
You know what I love about this is how it starts. There's no big, grand introduction. The author just drops us right into the scene with this simple, personal statement. It feels like something that could happen to any of us.
Right, so it all kicks off with this simple meal. But as you'll see, it ends up uncovering a much deeper truth about what it means to welcome people you don't even know.
Okay, so here's the scene. The author's sister-in-law shows up with her friends, a couple of Americans and 2 Korean exchange students who are in the middle of a huge road trip. Now, they could have just ordered a pizza, right? But instead, the author and his wife made this amazing decision to rush and prepare a full, traditional Korean meal for everyone. And it's that very act, this specific, spontaneous feast for total strangers, that becomes the spark for this entire deep dive.
The author even admits he was a little nervous. Like, what if the American guests didn't like this kind of food? But it turns out everyone loved it. And in that moment of shared enjoyment, the simple act of eating became a real, genuine connection. And that feeling of joy, that's what got him thinking.
So this whole experience makes him step back and ask a bigger question. What exactly is hospitality? What are we really talking about here? In Korean, the word is hwande, and it turns out it means a lot more than just being a good host at a party.
So the dictionary definition seems pretty straightforward, right? Be sincere, be generous. Got it. But the source text we're looking at says, whoa, hold on, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The real root of hospitality, well, it isn't something we humans just came up with on our own.
And boom, there it is. This is the core argument of the whole piece. The idea is that our hospitality isn't an original invention. It's a reflection. It's us imitating something way bigger. It's this moral duty that comes from the fact that we've already received a kind of divine welcome ourselves.
Yeah, this idea of a divine welcome is absolutely central. The text basically argues that the ultimate source of all hospitality is God, and that this isn't just a one-off thing. It's a pattern you can see woven through the entire biblical story.
I mean, look at this timeline the source lays out. It's pretty incredible. It argues that right from the very beginning, by creating a home for humanity in Eden, God was playing the role of host. And even after humans mess up, the welcome doesn't stop. God clothes them, guides them, and eventually, through Jesus, throws the doors open to literally everyone.
And this just nails the point so perfectly. This divine hospitality, as the source sees it, is totally unconditional. It's not a prize you get for being good. It's not for a members-only club. It's just fundamental generosity given to everyone, no strings attached.
Okay, so if that's the divine model, what does it mean for us? Well, the source argues that it becomes a kind of moral command. We're meant to practice it. But, and this is a big but, it's not always easy. It comes with some very real challenges and risks.
And let's be real for a second. When you open your home, your schedule, your life to other people, especially people you don't know, you're making yourself vulnerable. It is absolutely an act of love, and just like any act of love, it means you could get hurt. It's a risk.
The New Testament actually gives us this powerful, almost cinematic contrast. On one side, you have the people who welcome others. But on the other, you have this character, Diotrephes, and his problem is that he loves to be first. His ego, his need for control, makes him not only reject strangers, but actually punish the people who do welcome them. It's a really stark picture of what a failure of hospitality looks like.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway? Where does this leave us? The source is basically calling for a radical change in perspective, a rejection of the way our world so often teaches us to look at other people.
This is really a call to action. It's about moving away from that transactional mindset, always asking what's in it for me or what can this person do for me. The push is to move towards unconditional welcome, especially for the stranger, and to make that the bedrock of our relationships and our communities.
And what's so important is this final point. The source concludes that this isn't some rigid rulebook. It's not a one-size-fits-all formula. It's a principle. It's up to every single person, every single community, to figure out what it actually looks like to practice this kind of welcome in their own unique situation.
And so we come full circle. This whole explainer, which started with a random dinner for some unexpected guests, leaves us with this really challenging final question. It forces us to look at our own lives and ask, who is the stranger that we're being called to welcome?